I'm going to talk about a very simple warm-up that you can use for writing classes. So I taught academic writing in Korean universities for many, many years, and this is what I did at the beginning of every single writing class that I did. It's called the 5-minute writing time. Students often get kind of laser focused or obsessed on accuracy, writing accuracy. So they want their grammar and their vocabulary choices to be perfect. However, that often comes at the expense of writing very slowly. So I did this quick activity to help them just write faster. So they would each have a notebook, and then I would have a topic of the day. So for example, like maybe a favorite memory from childhood, or talk about your family, talk about a movie that you watched recently, or what's your favorite TV show, or tell me about what you do on the weekend, something like that. So just kind of a general topic that everyone would have something to say about that. And then I would tell students to put away their phone and put away their dictionaries and just write. So I said that the goal was to keep your pen moving at all times. So they could start talking maybe about their hobby, and I like to play soccer. I usually plan weekends with my friends. I really like it because blah, blah, blah. And then if they ran out of things to say, I told students just to write, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. And then eventually something will come to them and they will keep writing. So I said, if I look up, because I actually was writing at the same time. I would usually do the same topic as them. But I said, if I look up, I don't want to see anyone's pen not moving. I said, that is the goal of this activity. So they would do that in the notebook. And then at the end of the time, I would get students to count up how many words they had. So in the first class, I got them to count the exact number of words that they did. So maybe they did, say, 300 words, and they divide it by the number of lines. So they can kind of figure out their rough word count per line. So the first time it took quite a while, and then they would mark it in a chart. But all the other classes, they would just count up how many lines and kind of do like a rough guesstimate of how many words. So I said in their chart that they would map each day, I wanted to see it go up, up, up. So maybe they started out 300 words, they got, after a month it was 320, by the end of the semester maybe it was 400, something like that. So the goal was to increase their writing speed. So I didn't assign marks for this. Well, I did a little bit, so I would give them like five points or 5% of their final grade, but I would just quickly peruse their book, and I didn't actually read everything. I would just check their chart and just make sure that they were actually doing it in class instead of just sitting there on their cell phone or something like that. So yeah, it was 5 easy points for the students, and I think they really enjoyed it. Just working on writing fluency. So if you like this ESL warm-up, please be sure to check out my book, 39 ESL warm-ups. There are lots more of ideas for writing classes, speaking classes, conversation classes, and all kinds of ESL classes. And please hit like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.